So hi, I'm Jason from the Wordament team. We're here today talking to DiscoPidgeon, and we had a bunch of questions for him about how he does what he does, which is you recently got the fastest, the most words recorded in any single game, 136 words. A lot of people don't think you exist. You exist, and so just wanted to meet you and ask a few questions. How long have you been playing Wordament?
I believe I started, I can't remember the exact day or week, but sometime before July 2011, I remember playing on a trip.
It's almost a year.
Take for the 4th of July, yeah.
And how did you do on your first games? Like, have you always been amazing, or like did you start out and it was like,
Oh, that's a very funny story. I'd love to get more into this because when I first started, I believe I was playing on my dad's phone or my mom's phone, whichever they were, and my dad and I kept going back and forth and tying each other at or getting close at 200 points, I think. And then one day my dad just got 630 something points, and we were so shocked that he had gotten that many points. And so then I had my average for a long time on the first phone I used was about 170.
Okay. So you started out pretty average, like that's where most people are starting out, but now you're getting 1,000 points every single time you play. So what happened between then and now? Is it just practice?
I think I've started to get used to the game, I guess, a little more. And since then I've gone through, I guess, kind of improved time. I'd either I'd find some new words by accident and remember those and keep getting those, or I'd get a little faster with my thumb, I guess. And so I've gone through phases where at one time I was amazed when I got 400 points, and then soon I was amazed that I got like 51 words in a game, and then it's gone up from there.
So have you always been a thumb player? Because some people have seen your video and they see you play with your thumb. Did you start with the index and move to the thumb, or have you always been thumb?
I could never really say that I used the index finger, because in my first few games I would try the index finger but then just not like it and go to the thumb, and that was pretty bad at first, and it's hard to hold the phone at first because my hands are pretty small, but it was nice to have the focus, the rounded edges, and easier to hold. So I guess I used thumb purely because the index finger just felt wrong to me.
People really want to know, like, what percentage of the words that you're finding do you actually know? Like, have you memorized these words? Just like, oh yeah, that's a word, that's a word, that's a word, or do you actually know what these words mean?
Well, over time, at first I I guess I probably knew 95% of the words that I got, and the other 5% were the words that I got by slipping onto an incorrect, like slipping onto the wrong tile when I was trying to get a word and it turned out it was a word. And since then, I'd have to put a number on it, it'd be maybe 60-40 in favor of knowing the words.
Okay.
But some of the words that I found just by guessing have turned out, I've looked them up, so I guess if you can count that as knowing the words.
But you're finding a bunch of words just by trying, like, oh, that looks like it might be a word.
Yeah, I've found a lot of 3-letter words where if you've got a consonant without a consonant, it's most of the time going to be a word.
Interesting. All right. Well, I mean, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's just really interesting. Like, when you look at the video that we have of you and Wickety Walk, like he never gets the your guessing, and people have seen you power through the your guessing. It's like some people have said, oh, that must be cheating. He's going right through those your guessings, and he's like, I mean, you can't get words, but obviously you play in such a way that you're trying words all the time. How many times do you see that? You seen that a couple times per game?
Most of the time I'll see it either no times or once. It depends. Some games I'll just slip up with my words, and I'll just get it that way. But most of the time I'll usually have enough words to go off during a game that I can do one each time. But there's some games where it's just a low amount of words, particularly the diagram games, where I'll get to like maybe 20 seconds left, and at that point I'll just be all out guessing because I found like all the words that I can or that I know.
Can I ask you a question about school?
Sure.
What topics do you like in school? Like, are you more into math or more into music or English, or like, Because a lot of people are like, I'm really good at English and I get 30 words, and this guy's getting like over 100 words. Like, how is that possible?
Well, it depends on the teacher, I have to say.
But do you feel like you're naturally good at like math or English
math.
or math?
Yeah, English, I guess, too. I like writing. I think English, I'm not sure, the class is just average to me, and I like math, but I don't think there's any particular subjects that stand out in relation to wordament, but...
Well, you're very good at pattern matching, for sure, which is interesting, because that's sort of more like logic and math, but... Do you have friends at school that play this game as well?
A few, but I think they're mostly because I've told them about it.
Do they believe you when you're like, hey, did you know I'm best in the world at this? They're like, no, you're not. No, you're not. You're like, oh, wait, let me show you. I am.
Yeah, one of my friends came to the meetup, tournament / meetup, and I have a few other friends, maybe about 5, that have either, most of them have played it on the computer version, or with their parents' phones when they can.
So, who are the people you watch when you're playing? Like, who do you compete against?
MC Tan, Boomershine, and Wickety Walk, and they play mainly.
Are they your frenemies?
Yeah, I'll keep them as frenemies, and anyone who beats me, I'll keep as a frenemy.
Nice. You know that, of course, you're a nemesis to a lot of people. Like, there's a lot of people that have you as a frenemy, and they watch you, and they even go so far as to curse when you beat them. Like, they've told us this. Like, this guy is like, it makes us so mad that we're losing to him. Do you ever feel that way? Like when like Boomershine takes you, you're like, come on.
Sometimes I'll just feel a little sad. Most of the time it's just disappointment when I feel like I've played a really good game. Like I've played a few, especially with MC Tan, even yesterday, where I'll go get a ton of words and I think I'm doing great, and then I'll beat everyone by a bit, and then MC Tan just beats me by like another 100. So yeah, that's not the fun parts. I feel like I'm doing well.
What's a really satisfying game for you at this point? Like you've probably broken every record or goal you set for yourself.
It would probably be most satisfying would be to beat one of my 3 nemesis in a game, and also I love trying to find the longest words in theme games. It's something I like to do.
At the tournament, you got to meet Wickety Walk. I think that was the first time you ever met him.
Correct.
How was that? Like, was he what you expected? Because you've been playing against this like piece of text, this guy named Wickety Walk, and to meet him and to play against him, how was that?
I could assume that as an adult, yes, I could imagine appearance, but I didn't imagine that anyone could move their thumb quite that fast. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, where did the name come from?
So the name, it's interesting because it just came out of the blue. It resembles a lot now that I've seen the Xbox Live gamer tags. When you want to change your gamer tag, it'll come up with, I think it'll generate some random adjective and then a noun. Like
Snifflebump, who's one of the top players. His is just a changed one, yeah.
Yep, like
But you made yours, right?
Yeah, and so I didn't realize you could do that, so I just kind of guessed something funny at the time. And this, you can tell it's generated by just brain power because I spelled pigeon wrong. I thought that was right. Normally I can spell something, most words correctly, but not just then. And
you're supposed to tell people that you intended it that way, just to be
well,
different.
Actually, on the Xbox Live gamer tag now, I used to be Gold Seal 21.
Okay.
But then I decided to change to DiscoPidgeon because no one would believe that Gold Seal 21 is DiscoPidgeon.
Yep.
And so I kept the D in there just because I could, and I guess to keep it as DiscoPidgeon without a doubt.
Do you just start in one of the corners and start looking, or like how do you generally attack a board?
I guess I'll just kind of look for whatever pops out the most. Some of it is usually W's pop out, I guess, higher point letters and diagrams, and if it's a theme game, I'll always just look at the theme and figure out what that is.
Would you be interested in playing one round for us so we can see you solo play? And
Sure.
would you be up for that?
Yep.
All right, awesome.
Here are a couple of my friends. And then Buffy. I added Buffy because they trash talked Boomershine, and I have to get revenge in some way, shape, or form. So.
Hold it that way just a little more. There we go. Perfect. Think you're gonna get first place?
I don't know. I don't know who's playing. Or, I guess maybe. I forgot to check. Maybe. All I care is that I beat Buffy. It's free Boomshine.
Nice. First place?
That's preppy.
That's what 100% looks like. Very cool.
Okay.
I'll say I just played for an hour, and what I laugh at is that some of the posts on Facebook are like, does your mother know you're playing? And I'm actually kind of strict, right, about like, you know, you can't play all the time, and you can't be on your phone all the time. And in fact, that's one of his punishments, right? Like, I'll take away
Oh, that's harsh.
if he's naughty, I'll take away his phone. He just lost it yesterday. But he doesn't play that much.
They still manage to keep his grades up, so.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I want to bring up is that I've played other games recently,
Yeah.
and I've said, hey, I don't like that feature. And so I was going to email them to change it, and then realized, oh wait, this is not the Wordament guys. They're not going to listen to us. They're just like, that's one guy that I don't think
love
they're
that.
gonna do.